Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to Path to Happiness. Today as well, we will select a topic that will interest you and make you happy. It actually stems from the topic that we discussed last week. Last week's discussion, we spoke about relationship. In particularly, we spoke about relationship between parents and children and relationship between husband and wife. But today, we're going to talk about an interesting part of relationship. Today, we're going to talk about the relationship lies in friendship. We all do have friends. It is difficult to do without friends. So we want friends in our good times and bad times. It's always good to be surrounded by good friends. But before we get into talking about how do we understand good friends and what can we learn from them, let us to the program welcome our Venerable Nun who has come from Muthugala Anagarika Mahamevana Meditation Monastery. Namo Buddhaya, Mahansa. So as I was setting a context to the aspect that we're going to talk today, the friends, how do we really understand a good friend? Who is a good friend?
Absolutely, and our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, also recognized that of relationships, the friend-friend relationships is quite important, and the Supreme Buddha saw that there are certain things that a friend needs to do in order to balance or maintain a healthy relationship. And the Supreme Buddha teaches us one of the things that as a friend, one of the things that you must do for your friend is you must always be helpful to your friend. No matter what he or she needs, you must always be there to help him. And in addition to that, you must give to your friends. So giving is one thing that you must do as a friend to maintain a good balanced relationship.
Yes.
Now what that means really is knowing what your friend really wants, knowing her needs and wants, and giving in accordance with that. So of course you can see if your friends gift you things that you like, then that really makes you happy, isn't
yes,
it?
yes.
So that really maintains a healthy relationship. Because if that giving is not there, if that helping is not there, if you're not helping each other, if you're not giving things to each other, if you're not giving gifts to each other, then what's there is really competition.
Yes.
Now, this is something that's always present in many friendships, is that you're competing with each other. Just to say a simple example, if you take the latest fashion, sometimes you want to buy the most fashionable clothing out there, and your friend wants to exceed that, wants to buy a better clothing. But instead, if you're a good friend, what you really do is, on top of you buying the latest fashion, you will also give it as a gift to your friend. So that's what a real friendship is, instead of competition with each other, which is what we find a lot in the present society. What you must do is you must give to your friends as well, because that will help you to maintain and balance your friendship.
Okay.
And another thing the Supreme Buddha says you must do is you must always treat your friend with kind words. This is so vital. And in addition to that, on top of speaking kindly to your friends, you must also make sure that you don't get into fights with each. So those two are connected with each other.
Okay.
So you must obviously make sure, no matter how stressful a situation you're in, you must never say hurtful words to your friend, because that will break the friendship, that will hurt the friendship. And on top of that, you must make sure that you don't get into fights. That's a key point. And so if be patient.
Yeah.
You must be a very patient friend. Patience is something, and you must be able to bear with and endure what your friend does. Sometimes your friend may get angry and starts to yell at you and complain to you, and make a big fuss. But if you're a good friend, what will you do? You'll make sure you don't say anything that will hurt her. Okay, so that's a good friend.
Yes.
No matter how intense the situation is, you'll be patient on your part, and you'll bear with the words that she's speaking to you. You'll endure it. So that's what a good friend is. So you can really ask yourself, am I a good friend or not? You can you can use these points to really judge yourself.
Yes.
And the Supreme Buddha says another thing that you must do for your friend is you must always look after her, his or her well-being. Because you must always, and well-being means in terms of her health, well-being in terms of his or her finances, mental well-being, financial well-being, in all terms.
Okay.
So, for example, if a friend is sick, then you must ask her about her health, and if sometimes there are people out there who never wants to go to the doctor, and they may have a serious illness, but they don't want to go see the doctor. So, as a friend, it's a responsibility to look into that and to see what type of health condition she is in and direct her to it.
Yes.
And if it comes to finances, it's the same thing. Talk to your friend about if she has money problems, if she has financial problems. Then as a good friend, one of the things you must do is to make sure, guide her in keeping her finances well. So in all terms, these are things that you must try to fulfill as a friend in order to maintain
a better
friendship. And most importantly, the Supreme Buddha says that if you want to be a good friend, you must be someone who keeps your word. I think that's a very important point that we must try to practice, actually, because we know a lot of friendships break because of broken promises. Broken promises means you don't keep your word. You promise to do something, you say you'll do this, you'll do that, but you never end up doing it. So when that happens in a relationship, what happens is the trust within that relationship fades away. It breaks apart. And of course, if there's no trust in a friendship, then it's really not a strong...
You cannot call a friendship.
Exactly. Yes. So that trust is so important. So in this way, if you have these points that we talk about, then you can maintain a good friendship. And of course, the Supreme Buddha says, in return, the friend must reciprocate. Okay. So you must also reciprocate, and what you must do is, you must make sure that your friend who's helping you so much in this way, you must look after his well-being and look after him when he's in trouble. And look after his positions when he's in trouble. So, for example, say you are walking on the street, and you meet with your friend meets with an accident, and all his possessions are everywhere. And so, as a good friend, what you must do is you must make sure you quickly, pick up all the valuable things of your friend and protect it, because in this moment, in that emergency situation, your friend doesn't have the mentality to protect his possessions, whether it be his wallet, his cell phone, or whatever. So, as a good friend, you must make sure you do it for him or her. So that's one of the things that you must. Do. And also, the Supreme Buddha says, you as a good friend, you must also be a refuge to your friend. So, what that means, being a refuge means when your friend is afraid, when he is insecure, when he or she is insecure, as a friend, you must be able to help him or her overcome that fear. Now, for example, if you take as an example, suppose your friend is about to get married, and she's having second thoughts. The night before the wedding, she's having second thoughts. Most of the time, in such a situation, a lot of people depend on the friend. If the friend is not next to you, you would call up your friend and talk.
For the opinion.
Absolutely. And so in such a situation, if you're a good friend, then what would you do?
You're going to calm her down.
Exactly. Yes. You would calm her down, and you would assure her, no, you're making the right decision. You're improving your life by doing this, and this is something that you want to do, and assure her that what she's doing is the right thing. Or for example, if you take if your friend is about to go to an interview and she's so scared, she's panicking, and again, in such a situation, most of the time we depend on a friend to assure us and
to give courage and motivate
to calm us.
Yes.
So in such a situation, as a good friend, you must be able to calm her down. So that's what you call a good friend, exactly. And the Supreme Buddha also says, if you're a good friend, you should never abandon your friend in time of need. I think this is something that happens a lot when your friends sometimes make a mistake in life. Sometimes the whole society may neglect him or her or abandon the association with that friend. But if you're a good friend, you would not let her down. No matter what mistake that he or she made, you will always stick with her and help her stand up, help him stand up from his mistake. That's what a good friend would do. And the Supreme Buddha also says, if you're a good friend and your friend has children, you must also show concern for your children. So not just your friend, but you must also look after his family or her family. So for example, suppose you're at work and you get the call saying your children's school is on fire and it has been evacuated, and you're in such intense situation at work that you have no room to go get your kids from school. So you can get a friend. If you call up your friend, you as a good friend, you must say, okay, don't worry, I'll take care of the kids. You can go to the school and pick up the kids, and so that gives your friend the assurance that the kids are safe. So in that way, as a friend, you must cover all areas, not just your friend, but her children and her family. You must also pay attention and concern to. So if you do these things for each other, the Supreme Buddha explains, you can really maintain a good friend relationship, because in that relationship you're developing good qualities: trustworthiness, patience, kindness, speaking kind words to each other. So all these good qualities develop within, and when you have those good qualities within you, then you have a good friendship. In fact, in one sutta, the Supreme Buddha explains, if a friend gives what is hard to give, then you must associate with that friend. And if a friend endures what's hard to endure, you must associate with that friend. And in that, what the Supreme Buddha explains is, he gives what's difficult to give. For example, he could be in a financial crisis, and he really needs money, and you yourself doesn't have money, but as a good friend, you still find some way and you give. It's difficult for you to give it, but you somehow give. And the second point was, you endure what's hard to endure. And Supreme Buddha says, sometimes people say bad words about you, and what your friend does is, your friend other people try to say bad things and break your friendship. So saying, she's like this, but your friend doesn't believe those things. He listens, or she listens, but she listens patiently without saying a single thing. And she doesn't let those words, she patiently endures those words without letting it break the friendship. So she does all of this for you, to protect your friendship. So the Supreme Buddha says, such friends you must definitely associate without letting go. So those are the type of things you must do as a friend. And if you do these things, then you can really develop strong good friendships. Absolutely.
Okay, that is a good friend, basically, indeed.
Exactly.
So we do have different kinds of friends. All the people in this world do have different kinds of friends, and we believe in them. We share things with them, and sometimes we share our wealth, and sometimes our secrets. But at times, there are times where you feel you are let down, you're being betrayed, you're being cheated. Probably the friend that you thought is the best friend probably is not the best friend and the good friend. How do you really recognize the bad friends from those amongst your friends, Mahansa?
Absolutely. Actually, the Supreme Buddha has taught us this, The Supreme Buddha has taught us that there are actually foes in the guise of friends.
Okay.
Okay, so what that really means is they pretend as if they are a friend, but really in reality they are not. They are foes. So the Supreme Buddha explains it's important that we recognize who these friends are, because if we don't recognize them, then we think they are our friends.
Yes.
And then we try to depend on them, and when we try to depend on them, they are not there for us. We sometimes sacrifice our whole life for them. We do many things for them, but that's only from our side.
Yes.
And then we end up having broken promises and getting hurt. And so it's important that we recognize who these foes are, who these foes are in the guise of friends.
Yes.
The Supreme Buddha explains 4 types of these foes in the guise of friends. The Supreme Buddha explains the first one is known as Anya Dattuhara, and what that means is, that's the Pali word, what that means is he's all take. All take means in the relationship, all he wants to do is take from you.
Yes.
Okay, so his goal is always to take from you.
Okay.
Sometimes he comes to see you with a small gift, and he comes to your house with a small gift, but when he leaves, he takes a lot from you.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the characteristic of this friend. And this all take friend, he always depends on you when he's afraid. So when he's in a crisis, when he's in an uncomfortable situation, he always calls you up and he asks you for guidance, and he's always depending on you, but he does not do so in return. When you need his help,
He's not there.
he is not there. And then the Supreme Buddha says all he wants is to he always seeks his own end. I mean, all he wants is for his development, his success. He doesn't care about you.
Okay.
But so this is the first type of friend. So you can really compare this Dhamma to your own life and see, do I have such friends?
Okay.
If you have such friends, the Supreme Buddha explains, you must avoid them. You must avoid these friends like avoiding a dangerous road.
Okay.
You must avoid these friends. And the second type of friend the Supreme Buddha explains is the great talker. Okay, and he's known as, in the Pali word is Vachi Paraman. That what it means is he's always talking. So when you need something, he says, when you go ask for help, he says, in the past I could have done this for you, but now I'm not in the position to do it. In the future maybe I'll do this for you. So suppose you ask for money,
Yeah.
and you say, in the past I had the money in
I had the money yesterday.
Absolutely, exactly. I had the money yesterday, but I don't have it now.
Anymore.
Maybe next week I'll be able to. So he's using his words to
Comfort you.
Exactly, and he's always giving you empty promises of goodwill.
Okay.
Okay, so I think these are friends that these are foes in the guise of friends that we can definitely see in the present society.
Absolutely.
And so in this way, when you need something, he uses his words and he manipulates it, pretending he wants to give but he can't. So this is the great talker, known as the Vachi Parama friend.
Yes.
And then the Supreme Buddha explains there's another one called Anupya Bani. And what that is he's known as the flatterer. And this flatterer friend, what he does is he assents, that means he agrees with the good and the bad things you do, because he wants to be liked by you.
Okay.
So this is not a good friend, because
Yes.
if you're a good friend, then you must guide your friend in the right direction, not in the wrong direction. But this Anupya Bani friend, the flatterer, what he does is he say, if you say, oh, let's go drink, he says, okay, sure, let's go drink, because he wants to be liked by you. He doesn't want to oppose your opinion. And when you say good things, like, let's go and make a donation to that person in need, he says, okay, sure, let's go. And so he assents to good and bad things. And the other thing is, this friend, the third type of friend, what he does is he praises you to your face, and he dispraises you, insults you behind your back.
Okay.
I think this is also something that we see in many and in many friendships in the present. So when he sees you, he says, wow, you look so pretty, you're doing so well, you're so successful, I'm so happy for you.
Yes.
When he sees you at your face, that's what he says. And then when you leave to other friends, he says, you know, she's like this, she makes money like by doing this, so he's insulting you behind your back. So this is a foe in the guise of friends. So the Supreme Buddha says you must recognize these friends and you must avoid them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And so far we talked about 3 foes in the guise of friends, and the final foe in the guise of friends is, the Supreme Buddha explains, apaya sahaya, and what that means is he is a spendthrifter who's trying to get you to be reborn in hell. And what that means is, the Supreme Buddha explains, this friend is always guiding you, trying to drag you to doing bad things, such as going drinking and gambling and going to streets at night and wandering in streets at night. So he's someone who's trying to drag you to doing wrong things. The Buddha explains these are friends that you must avoid. So these 4 types of friends you must avoid, like avoiding a dangerous road. So you must never even look in that direction.
Of course. So now we know the 4 types of friends who we should avoid, and we also know how to recognize them. With that, we take a short break and we'll be back. Welcome back to our program Path to Happiness. Before the break, we've been talking about the friendship, and in particularly how to recognize the bad friends. In that light, Manmahansa, it's sometimes when you have good friends, like comforting friends, it's a beautiful feeling to be surrounded by good friends. They really heal you with their words and they comfort you. And how do we recognize the good friends amongst all the friends you have?
Yeah, the Supreme Buddha actually teaches there are 4 types of good friends as well, and the Supreme Buddha explains these 4 types of good friends you must cherish, like a mother cherishes her son. Okay, so that's how valuable these friends are into your life. And the first type of friend, Supreme Buddha explains, is the Attakai. Now this is the Pali word. Attakai friend means he is a helpful friend.
Okay.
So he's always there to help you in any way.
Okay.
When you're in trouble, the Supreme Buddha explains, he is there. He has your back. So you can depend on your friend. When you're in trouble, you can depend on your friend to help you. Okay?
Yes.
And then the Supreme Buddha explains this helpful friend, when you're in trouble, like we mentioned in the previous time, when you're in trouble, he protects your possessions. Now, for example, suppose you're at your house and your child got into an accident and you quickly had to leave home. The house is completely open, and you forgot to, your attention was not drawn to closing the house. Everything is out in the open, and you quickly ran to the hospital. And if your friend is there, the friend is of course will make sure that the house is protected, because he always wants to help you in any way. So that's the first type of friend, helpful friend. And he also this helpful friend also wants to make sure that you're always well. So financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, in every way, he's there to help you to overcome. So if he's emotionally down, or if she's emotionally down, then your friend is there to bring, improve your mood. Say the words you need to hear to get you back to the right mode. Yes. So in any way, this friend is there to help you. You can always depend on. It's kind of like a shadow that's always there. behind you. The Supreme Buddha explains, and he's also a refuge to you all the time. So if you ever need any comfort, you can depend on this friend. He's always there to help you get rid of your doubts and help you to overcome the fears that you have in life, to overcome insecurities that you have left. So you can always talk at any moment. You can talk to this friend and know that he will help you. So you can really ask yourself, do I have such friends in my life who I can really who actually fulfill these roles or these responsibilities that that a friend must do. So that's the first type of friend. And then the Supreme Buddha explains there's another type of friend, and this type of friend is known as Samana Sukha Dukkha. And what that is when you're happy, he's also happy. And when you're sad, he's also sad, or she's also sad. So she's very much close to you in terms of emotions. And when she sees you crying, she cries with you. When you're smiling, when you're in a good mood, she's also happy that you're in a good mood, that you're happy. So there are certain friends like that who are very much connected in terms of emotions. And this friend also, another important characteristic of this friend is that she tells you her secrets. Okay, so this good friend, the second type of friend, who is known as the Samana Sukha Dukkha friend, she tells you her secrets. Okay, so whatever she has within her, she shares the secrets with you, and when in return you tell her your secrets, she makes sure she protects the secrets. So there's that trust within that friendship. So the Supreme Buddha explains, if you have such a friend who shares her secrets with you and protects your secret, then that's a good friend. Okay, so what that really means is you have that amazing trust within that relationship, which is quite difficult to find, which is a rare thing to find in this world. And the Supreme Buddha also explains this friend, this Samana Sukha Dukkha friend. Another amazing characteristic is that he is ready to sacrifice even his life for you. So that's how devoted he is to you. So in an intense situation, he will make sure that he sacrifices his life for you. I think these friends are quite difficult to find.
It's very rare to
very
find.
Rare to find. Now suppose you're swimming with your friend, and your friend is on the shore, and you're swimming, and he or she sees you drowning. And if it's a good friend, the first thing that he will do, he won't think about his life. He'll maybe he can't even swim, but because of that emotional connection completely, he won't think about his life, but he'll simply dive in to protect you, to bring you up. Okay, so like that he will even sacrifice his life for you, the Supreme Buddha explains. And another amazing characteristic of this friend is this friend never lets you down in any misfortune. So he or she is always with you, no matter what. But rather bad time, when you are going through bad times, she doesn't abandon you, or he doesn't abandon you. He's always there with you. So the Supreme Buddha explains the second type of friend. If your friend has these characteristics, then he is known as a Samana Sukha Dukkha friend. That means same in happy and unhappy times. He's always there with you. So it's quite rare to find such amazing friends. Exactly. But there are such friends in this world. So if you're lucky enough, then I'm sure you have had the blessing to associate with such good friends. And then the Supreme Buddha goes on to explain a third type. And the third type of friend the Supreme Buddha explains is known as, the Pali word is Attakkai friend. And what that means is this friend always points out what is good. So he always wants to take you in the right direction. He or she keeps you from doing wrong things. So suppose you're someone who's addicted to drinking, and so if you have Attakkai friend, the friend knows the right from wrong, so he always is behind you to try to stop you from drinking. If you're someone who's into cheating, you're on your spouse or cheating on your spouse, then if you have a takai friend who knows the right from wrong, that friend will make sure that he advises you, guides you, and to prevent you from doing that wrong thing. And what's amazing about this friend is it sometimes it may feel like a burden on you. Now you want to do bad things, but your friend is always behind you and saying, you don't do this, don't do this, you're going to have to suffer like this. This attakai friend never gives up on you. He's always there until you stop doing those wrong things. And the other thing is, he always supports you in doing good things. This attakai friend.
He's the opposite of the flattering friend.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Exactly. So when you're doing good things, when you're protected, when you're giving, when you have alms givings, he always supports you. When you want to donate to people in need, he supports you in doing that. So in this, when you want to go and observe precepts on poor days, for example, he supports you, he commends you. So he supports you in doing good things.
Encourages
He
you.
encourages you, exactly. And the other thing is, he always teaches you what you didn't know. And he teaches you the path to heaven. He teaches you how to do good things so that you can be reborn in good destination. And a really good example of this type of friend is Gatikara. And who Gatikara is really, during the Supreme Buddha's time, there were two friends known as Gatikara and Jyotipala. Okay, now these two friends were born during the Kassapa Supreme Buddha's time, so before our Supreme Buddha. During the Kassapa Supreme Buddha's time, there were two friends called Gatikara and Jyotipala. And Gatikara, he was born in a very low caste, and his job was making pots and selling them. And Jyotipala was of the Brahman caste, so he was a very he had a high place in society. So these are two friends, and this Gatikara, he kept saying, friend, let's go and see the Kassapa Supreme Buddha, and let's go and learn the teaching from him. And he keeps saying, and Jyotipala, he doesn't want to go, but Gatikara never gave up on the friend. He continued to plead to the friend, let's go, and then finally at the end he was actually able to take Jyotipala to listen to the Dhamma from the Supreme Buddha. And what's amazing is, the moment Jyotipala heard the Dhamma from the Supreme Buddha, he understood the Dhamma, and he actually decided to become ordained under that Supreme Buddha. He actually asked Gatikara, friend, when you have heard such an amazing Dhamma, why are you staying at home? Why haven't you become a monk? Why didn't you get ordained? So that's what a life transformation Jyotipala
could achieve because of his friend.
Because of his friend.
Yes.
Because that friend helped him to listen to something that he did not know.
Yes.
So in that way, the Supreme Buddha explains, this Attakai friend, he teaches you good things that you didn't know before.
Yes.
Okay. And the Supreme Buddha explains the final friend is known as the Anukampaka friend. And what Anukampaka friend is? He's sympathetic. So when he sees you doing well, he's happy. So when he hears that you have bought a good car, he's very happy.
Okay. Genuinely happy.
Genuinely happy. Now, most of the time what happens is, when your friend hears that you have bought a good car, you feel jealous. Your friends feel jealous.
Deep within, but you still flatter.
Of course, yes. But those are, of course, not good friends.
Yes.
The real friend, when he hears that you're doing well, he's honestly, genuinely, he's happy. She's happy for you. And when she gets to hear that you're not doing well, then she's sad. She feels sympathetic. She feels, I wish she could
do better.
Do better, exactly.
Have more things in her life.
Absolutely. And another amazing characteristic of this friend is, this friend, when other people says bad things about you, this friend stops them from saying bad things. Now, most of the times what happens is, when other people start to say bad things, you add to it.
You probably join them.
Absolutely. You say, oh, that's actually true. I have seen her do this. I have seen him do that. Most friends add to it. But this friend, this real friend,
discourage them.
Exactly. This real friend stops them from saying bad things and say, no, she's like this, and emphasize on her good qualities. So she stops others from saying bad things about you and commends those who praises you.
Yes.
So these types of good friends, they are quite difficult to find, but there are such friends in the present society. The Supreme Buddha explains, if you have such good friends, then you must cherish these friends.
Like a mother cherishes a son.
Absolutely, like a mother cherishes her son.
Yes.
And you can actually ask yourself, what kind of friend am I? You can look at it in both ways. You can see what types of friends do I have, who do I need to avoid, who I need to cherish, and what kind of friend am I? And if you're a bad friend, you can use use the teaching that we discussed today to become a good friend.
Good friends, yeah.
Absolutely.
You can inculcate those characteristics to yourself.
Within you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because if you have such good characteristics, these characteristics that we spoke about, then you can really be happy.
Yes.
If you have good friendships, that can really make a big impact on your life, because association, if you associate with the right people, that can really guide you in the right direction. But if you associate with the wrong people, that can really guide you in the wrong direction and really destroy your life.
Absolutely. It is indeed a blessing to have such good friends, and it's probably you can earn good friends by wholesome deed and you being a good friend, first of all, and inculcating those 4 qualities that you've been explaining in our own self. So amongst all the friends, man and Mahansa, we feel that the friend that who really gives you, that paves you the way to be free from samsara, and who really drives you through the Dhamma path, is whom we call the noble friend. So would you kindly explain to us who is a noble friend, and how can we also recognize and have that association with a noble friend?
Absolutely. I mean, the Supreme Buddha explains, of all external things that you can get, the association, the Supreme Buddha says, I do not see anything greater than the association with Kalyana Mitta. Kalyana Mitta means noble friend. So just in that statement, you can see how important a Kalyana Mitta, the association with a noble friend, is to your life. And the reason is, the Supreme Buddha, in many instances, the Supreme Buddha says, if you have a Kalyana Mitta, then that will help you to enter the stream. That opens the door for you to enter the path to Nibbana. So that's how vital the association with the Kalyana Mitta is. So in order to associate with the Kalyana Mitta, then we must actually know who a Kalyana Mitta is. The problem most of the time is we don't have the ability to recognize a Kalyana Mitta. So sometimes, but we thinking we are associating with a Kalyana Mitta, we associate with the wrong person. So it's important to know how to recognize a Kalyana Mitta. The Supreme Buddha explains, a Kalyana Mitta has a pleasant mind about the Supreme Buddha. So he's someone who has heard the Dhamma, and he's someone who has formed a pleasant mind about the Supreme Buddha and the Supreme Buddha's teaching. So he has confidence in the Dhamma, and he's also someone who has a pleasant mind about the disciples of the Supreme Buddha who's traveling this path, and those who have traveled, those who have traveled and attained Nibbana. That's the first thing. If you're Kalyana Mitta, then you must have confidence in the triple gem. Okay. And then the Supreme Buddha explains the next is, a Kalyana Mitta is virtuous. Okay. So if you're Kalyana Mitta, then you're someone who always does the right thing and never do the wrong thing. So that means you definitely protect the 5 precepts. Okay. So you're not someone who kills animals. You're not someone, a Kalyana Mitta would never steal. A Kalyana Mitta would never engage in sexual misconduct. A Kalyana Mitta would never lie. And a Kalyana Mitta would never drink intoxicating drinks and drugs. So he's a virtuous person. Okay. And the Supreme Buddha explains the Kalyana Mitta is also someone who's generous. So he's someone who gives all the time. He's not a stingy person.
Okay.
So these are good points for us to catch
Yes.
who Kalyana Mittas are. So Kalyana Mitta is always about giving. He has open hands.
Yes.
He has open heart to give. He's always looking to give. And then the Supreme Buddha explains he has the ability to understand the reality of things. What that means is he's wise.
Okay.
He has wisdom. So a Kalyana Mitta has these 4 things, and on top of him having these 4 things, he encourages you to develop these 4 things. Okay, so what a Kalyana Mitta does is he uses the confidence that he has and he tries to teach you the Dhamma so that you can also
generate confidence within
exactly
you.
form a pleasant mind about the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And he also encourages you to protect precepts. You know, he teaches you, you know, lying is bad. You know, these are the dangers of lying. So don't lie. He teaches you these things, and he tries to protect you from breaking these precepts. And he's someone who encourages you to give.
Yes.
Because he's generous. When he's giving an almsgiving, he calls you. You know, I'm giving an almsgiving. Why don't you join me? So he encourages you to also develop a generous heart.
Yes.
And the 5th is he discusses the Dhamma with you so that you can also try to understand the reality. He helps you to see what's impermanent as impermanent. He helps you to see the truth in life. So these are the qualities of a Kalyana Mitta. So if these 4 things are found in a Kalyana Mitta, then what that means is he's someone who you can really depend on in life.
Yes.
He's someone who will give you guidance and the advice you need in life. So these Kalyana Mittas you must definitely associate with. And actually an example comes to my mind. If I'm sure you have heard of Upatissa Kolita,
Yes.
which are the household names of Arahant Sariputta and Moggallana. Now these 2 friends, when they were back at home, they were very good friends, and but they weren't satisfied with the normal material life, and they were looking for something more.
Yes.
And they had promised each other, you know, if you find what you're looking for, if you find the path that we are looking for, that means something beyond this material life, then come and tell me. So they promised each other this. And so they went in 2 different directions. And of course, Upatissa, which is Arahant Sariputta, he saw a disciple of the Supreme Buddha, which was Arahant Assaji, Venerable Assaji, and the moment he heard a verse of Dhamma from Venerable Assaji, he became a Sotapanna disciple. And that very moment, who he remembered was his friend.
Kolita.
Yeah, Kolita. He remembered his friend, and so he quickly went and he told his friend of what he found. There's someone called the Supreme Buddha. This is his teaching. I have understood that teaching, so I want you to also listen to them. So he took his friend to see the Supreme Buddha.
That is Kalyana Mitta.
Exactly. And so when he went to the Supreme Buddha, after listening to the Dhamma, he also became a Sotapanna disciple. So that's who a Kalyana Mitta is.
Okay.
And of course, the greatest Kalyana Mitta that we have in this world is our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha. The Supreme Buddha says, because I am the greatest Kalyana Mitta in this world. If someone comes to me, this Kalyana Mitta, then he can be free from aging.
Yes.
If you come to this greatest Kalyana Mitta, he can be free from falling sick. He can be free from dying. He can be free from having to be together with people he does not like. He can be free from having to separate. He can be free from the suffering.
All kinds of suffering.
Yeah, all suffering. He can be free from all suffering. He can escape from samsara. So that's why the Supreme Buddha explains the association with Kalyana Mittas is the key factor we need in our life to find real happiness, true happiness.
Absolutely. That actually brings us to the end of today's program in Hansa, and we'd like to share all the merits that we collected today for sharing your Dhamma knowledge with us to enlighten us in the form of friendship, the topic that we discussed today. So we spoke about friendship and how to recognize bad friends and good friends, and how to be a good friend indeed. And finally, the importance of associating a noble friend, the only friend who will free us from samsara. So may us all have noble friends in our life. So that concludes today's program. Namo Buddhaya.